Good evening, everyone. It is August 19th, 2020. My name is Faisal. I am the head equities analyst over at thealphatrades.com. If you don't know us, go ahead and check us out at thealphatrades.com and go ahead and get a better look of who we are as a community and how we tackle the crypto and stock market. We also have a premium Discord for anyone who wants to get more up to date and concurrent information. Like I post my active alerts on there. Sometimes I post my trades on there, and I always post a morning and evening summary of what happened throughout the day. And a lot of times there's certain nuggets in there that can help you be positioned if you're either a short term trader, a long term investor. Sometimes there are different things that I'm seeing where opportunities are more beneficial for long-term investments within a certain sector, or sometimes it's better to just play the shorthand. I usually talk a little bit about that in all my, in most of my updates. So go ahead and check that out. That's just some of the stuff that's in the Advantage community. But once again, just if you haven't heard of us before, go ahead and visit thealphatrades.com. And I hope you guys enjoy what you see. Now, let's go ahead and get into today. So for those who are not familiar with me or what I do, Wednesdays are days that I like to cover the market. I'm not here with Amol, sadly, but I'm going to go ahead and give it a go and just give you all a rundown of what exactly happened today and what sort of thoughts have changed from before today to after today, because today was one of those days where there was a lot of key movements. Uh, you guys know, if you've been keeping up with not only my writing but also me speaking on YouTube, I have been a fairly confident that value will end up rallying higher than it is now. And concurrently, you're going to see tech start to underperform or trade flat as a result of money moving into the value sectors. Now, recently, we've seen stocks like Apple, Texas Instruments, and Tesla. I don't know if did Tesla hit all-time high? I think it did. Wow, something is not working here. I think Tesla did hit an all-time high. Yeah, it did. Tesla hit an all-time high. Nvidia hit an all-time high this week. There were a lot of big cap tech leaders that did hit all-time highs. And so from that perspective, everything looks fairly healthy. But I want to take note of some of the flags that I saw this morning. So going into today, yesterday was a very good day for high growth in general. High growth, or I'm sorry, not even yesterday, 2 days ago, and yesterday was a half good, half bad, but definitely 2 days ago, we saw a significant bounce back from a lot of these high growth stocks, and it looked like they may be coming to terms with bottoming out. But today I got some really peculiar signs in a lot of my leaders. Basically, what they had done, and it's weird how stocks trade today. They a lot of them trade simultaneously in terms of hitting support levels at the same time. I don't know why it happens, but it just does. The same degree of support levels and resistance levels, actually. It's like there's a sort of unity in those short-term technicals. But anyways, a lot of my software and high growth leaders had hit their upper end of their resistance levels, their key short-term resistance levels, and they hit them at some point this morning. And then they tested them back again, and I kept seeing this weakness in them. And I was like, with tech leading fairly well, again, Apple made another all-time high today. NASDAQ was looking like the best sector early on today. I was very surprised to see that weakness. And it had just so happened that the leaders had come up to my resistance level, and same thing with a stock that I had that I was very high on, one of the few growth stocks that I had taken a shot on after it had dropped, AYX. I had gotten into that play last week, and so far it had done well, but today I actually got out of it because of some of the signs that I had seen this morning. And thank God I did, because it ended up dropping 2 points from where I sold it at. And it looks like software by the close is looking like it wants to go down more. Um, I'm not going to confirm that it's going to go down because it's still one day, but it 100% followed the pattern that I would expect it to if the entire sector was going to go down. So remember, these stocks are still very extended. They're very expensive relative to the rest of the market. Even though they do have a catalyst pushing their estimates on the top and bottom line, whether it's software adoption or technology integration, a lot of the big themes that are going on that have pushed these stocks this high in the first place, at some point you have to have profit taking come into play, and these stocks are still very overextended. They're still very expensive, and those are the prime candidates for profit taking. So I think right now we are going to see a pullback in tech. I don't know if big tech will end up pulling back, like the Apples and the Teslas and Amazon. I think Microsoft actually will pull back. I've seen the lack of strength in Microsoft over the past couple of days has been something to notice. I think it's got tomorrow to prove itself. Otherwise, like I think it could definitely come down with the rest of software. Um, those stocks, I don't know if they're going to come down, but semis were showing me some negative signs 2 days ago, which is why I got out of Marvell. They continue to show weakness today, and even after the close, a big leader like Nvidia, I think, reported a pretty good report. Now, I haven't read the call or anything like that, but the headline numbers seemed good, and the stock is down, I believe. So that could be another catalyst that could not only drive down semis but also tech in general. It is the biggest semi leader in the market right now. So that stock is very important, and that reaction is very important. So if you wake up tomorrow, the first thing that I would check is to see if Nvidia is either negative or positive, because I think that's going to give you a good read on how tech will react throughout the day. Like if the stock ends up coming down and is set to open down 5%, I bet you're going to see the entire Nasdaq down like 1% or half a percent at least. It's definitely going to be underperforming the rest of the futures indexes. So I'm sorry, the index futures. So keep an eye out for that. That's one thing that I definitely got to check tomorrow morning. Um, as far as value is concerned, so this morning I had seen a lot of these inverse patterns where when tech was selling off or going up, you would see value do the exact opposite. So when tech was going up, value was going down. When value was going up, tech was going down. And that seemed to, I thought it was going to play out more extensively throughout the day because tech had been going up and value was kind of sinking. And when I put my note out, I had said that I was expecting value to close really well and tech to see a sell-off. We did end up getting some type of selling towards the latter half of the day in tech. Like I can go ahead and show y'all real quick. So this type of drop, this is almost like, obviously I'm not going to say it's exactly what I was expecting, but I was expecting some type of big selling move at some point today. But the problem was when we saw this move, we saw a move in the like in the other stocks, but it was very much so like it was still sideways. Like, so I'm looking at XLE right now, which is, quintessential value stock, is the energy ETF. When I see tech sell off like it did right there, I want to see value move up to some same degree or at least a little bit less than that. I definitely want to see it move up a fair amount. And what we saw was a lot of sideways action. While they didn't pull back, they definitely didn't go up that much. So the broad market itself ended up closing a lot weaker than I had expected. Tech closed weak, but value did not show me the right stuff, and I was really hoping to maybe lighten up on value stocks today. I ended up not, even though they didn't close out that well. I just said, I'm going to give it one more day. Today was not as clear as I thought it'd be, and I think because tech could be literally pulling back right now, this could be the first day that software pulls back. I just want to give it one more day to see how value sectors will react, because I still believe that there could be a scenario where tech could pull back significantly and you see money flow into these value sectors to the same degree and cause these stocks to shoot up. But another scenario that could definitely happen is that the broad market itself closes down, or I mean, sells off. So it's a wait and see scenario. It's one that definitely troubles me, and I think it'll prompt me to take some risk off the table tomorrow if I don't see anything come into play. But that's how I'm looking at the market landscape. I think tech is definitely a place to stay away from, especially after today, and value. It literally has tomorrow, just tomorrow, to prove something. I'm talking industrials, especially aerospace and transports, energy, the big oil stocks like Chevron, Exxon, EOG, Fang. They got to show me something, and then financials: J.P. Morgan, Citigroup, KRE, PNC. Uh, uh, all the insurance plays have yet to do really anything. I think actually Progressive has done something, but Allstate has really. Oh, I think it's is it PGR? Yeah, but Allstate. Let me go ahead and see. Yeah, so PGR is up 1.5%, but you look at Allstate, which was my top pick for the sector. I think it's down. It's down 2%. So it's been pretty mixed in that regard. And I was very high on the insurance sector going into this week. So once again, I want to see these stocks do well. I think insurance is one of the best places to be in this type of market that sees geopolitical risks escalating. So yeah, they got till tomorrow to prove to me that they're not going to pull back with the rest of the market, especially if tech leads that drawdown. Because if tech gives way, that's a big chunk of leadership that ends up not being in the market. And who knows if value sectors can really hold up. Because, like I said last time, even when we had that huge value sector rally to the upside where it went up 15 to 20% in 2 to 3 weeks, you didn't see tech sell off to the same degree. You actually saw it um, stay flat to slightly go up for over those weeks. So um, you still have to see some type of complementary action within the market. I don't know if there could still be significant strength and value if you see significant selling in tech. Um, but that's pretty much all that I have to go over. I just wanted to keep it short and sweet, based on you guys know how I see the market. It's a two-segment market: value and growth. Which way is going to go up? Which way is going to go down? So far, growth has been awesome, but I think the tides are slowly changing. And I know I've been saying that for like a week and a half, and it's not been that bad of a trade for a little bit. But I think it. I'm still waiting on that explosion to the upside. I think there's still a lot more left in the tank in regards to certain stocks like 3M making gains, or Medtronic, Boston Scientific, these stocks that are values in their industries and sectors, I think they still have a lot more room to go. So um, oh, you know what? Let me go ahead and touch on. So there are two stocks that I want to touch on. One is EverQuote. This is still my biggest holding. I have yet to trim it. I wanted to trim some today when I was cutting all of my tech stocks, but I just decided to hold on to it because I like this stock, and I feel like I want to buy more if it comes lower, even if it pulls back with high growth. But um, if it's going to pull back, I think it could be fairly volatile. So I'll probably end up cutting it close to maybe 40% of the original position if it ends up breaking down even lower tomorrow. Like it needs to bounce back tomorrow. I think if it has another lower low, you can go ahead and say I got to take some risk off the table, raise some cash, because high growth is looking shaky, and this stock is in the mix of being a high growth stock and an insurance stock. So I still don't know which way it's going to follow, but so far it's showing me enough to where it's saying that it wants to go down with high growth. So if I see it perform in the same trends, like let's just say tomorrow high growth tech starts to sell off and this stock already makes a lower low than today, I'm gonna probably go ahead and start cutting a significant amount of risk in that asset. So just wanted to touch on that. And then um, what's another stock that's a little bit. Oh, let's go ahead and touch on my silver short real quick. So I still have my silver short, um, and it was a good day today. I think silver went down maybe a point or so. I'm still short this. I think it's still a very crowded trade. I believe silver could come down to $21. I think a week ago it had looked much better than it does now. Now it kind of looks like it's making this sort of toppiness procedure, but once again, it's still got to break down more than a day. It could still recover and bounce back from here tomorrow if it has a good continuous streak of up days. So that's another one to pay attention to. If it starts to break below 22, I'd get scared. I think it could come down to 17 then, but once again, I think silver has some pretty solid fundamentals behind it. Same with gold. If I'm playing either of those two, I'm definitely watching the technicals on each, because if gold starts to break out or break down, that should give you a signal on the momentum of silver or vice versa. I don't know which one's going to move first. I'm assuming gold would move first. So I would definitely watch the technicals on that to get a better read of silver or vice versa. So that's another one that I'm keeping an eye out on. I'm still keeping my short. I'm not adding to it, but that's just a position that I'm still maintaining. And then last but not least, let's check out an old favorite. It's been a long time since I visited this stock. It's just been chugging along, and I thought after its earnings, it was really gonna go up from here. I'm sorry, after its earnings, it was really just gonna go up from there, but it ended up being the short-term top. And while the stock has not clearly broken down yet, you got to keep in mind that anytime the stock trades below 124, I think that's a very terrible sign, especially if it closes below there. I think one close below there almost guarantees that it's going to come down to 120. And then you got 2 days below that if you're a long-term believer like myself, to where if it starts to break below 120 for more than 2 days, I think you gotta once again either reduce position or get ready to sell your whole position. Right now, I've cut some position from when I first bought it, 2 months ago. It's not the same weight in my portfolio as it once was, but I'm not totally ready to give up on the stock. I'm still a very, very long-term believer. I liked what I saw on the call. But once again, if this market starts to turn on growth stocks, I don't know how you can say that this is not a growth stock, even though the estimates are really good still. Like, I mean, it's growing. Let's see, for instance, it's gonna make $60 60 cents in 2021. It's at 125. Okay, that's not bad. See, but its revenue growth rate is teetering off, and that's probably what's holding it back. You could see the stock I could totally see the stock consolidating between 80 and 120. I think that's a reasonable assumption, even as the company continues to build inroads in its markets. I think that's just a trend that the stock could make. And so I'm open to getting rid of it here for a loss of like 18, 19% actually. So that's one that I'm continuing to watch as growth stocks start to show either good signs or bad signs. If they end up showing some more bad stuff tomorrow, I think that's one that I'll end up cutting if it breaks below 125 for one, or closes below 124 for one day. But that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to talk about. I hope you guys got some useful information out of it and can slightly position yourselves, or even if you don't trade the market, this is just something that's very interesting to keep an eye out on, because I like to think that my analysis sometimes predicts fairly well. So you guys can go ahead and keep tabs on that. And I look forward to seeing what the future holds, because it's going to be a crazy week. It's really going to be something. I think there's a lot of people who are optimistic about tech and feel like it can't come down, and there's another crowd that thinks the entire market needs to come down, that nothing should be up right now because the economy is so down. And I think we are about to see a pretty fast curveball in terms of just how the market can change in everyone's minds, and just how much it can change from a momentum perspective. So once again, keep an eye out on for tech to sell off, value to rise. But if value does not rise tomorrow, that's a definite signal that it could come down with tech, and we could see a broad market pullback. And that itself should probably cause everyone who's in value to shed some exposure from that stock group. So, anyways, I hope y'all had a great listen, and I hope to catch y'all on the next video. So, peace.